You know I base all my facts off of statistical data.
It's the only way to do it.
Only way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to Between Two Rigs. I am Jeremy Compton, VP of Engineering at DT Consulting, also recent recipient of the Best Mustache in Matagorda County Award. Mm-hmm. They don't give that one out to just anybody, I promise you folks. With me I have Mr. Pat Salvo. He is CEO, publicly announced and certified, and proud of it as well. He's CEO of the company I work for, so there's that. Let's move on. Fan mail, hot off the press.
Yep.
We have none because we intimidate all of y'all so much you won't even comment on our post anymore. Mm-hmm. That's the level Matagorda Mustache recipients bring to the table when we discuss things.
Strong competition.
We brought some vendors in this morning and I just stared at them for like 5 minutes and they got up and left. It was awkward. I highly recommend everyone shaving a mustache. Not only does it scare children, it scares vendors and your wife. All right, moving on. Today's topic.
Wait. Did that actually happen? I don't even feel like that actually happened, but it did.
He's intimidated just sitting here.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Today's topic. This is a good one. Everybody needs to hashtag stop losing mud. Because we have stopped losing mud in the last couple of weeks on several wells. We wanted to run through that real quick. First off, we were drilling almost lateral. Knew we had a lot of faulting, a lot of fractures, possibly some depletion. We didn't see that. But dealing with the fractures associated around faults in South Texas, especially with the sandstone, we were prepared. We had recipes for different levels of losses. We're drilling ahead, rotary steerable in the hole, triple combo, a lot of fancy jewelry down there. Bam, 100 barrels an hour of losses. Oil-based mud. It's going south. 13-pound plus environment.
Yep.
2 sleeps later, we slowed it down. We changed the recipe a little bit in what we were pumping. The third sweep, we had it locked up to less than 10 barrel an hour losses.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, continue on. We crossed 3 of those faults in that well, all 3 of them. No problem, never came off bottom, never stopped drilling, knocked the losses out, didn't even show 500 barrels of losses total after we crossed those 3 faults when the initial loss rate was over 100 barrels an hour.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that, as we look at us as an industry and just the drilling perspective and being able to solve losses has been a mystery in our industry, and we pride ourselves in being able to solve those things. And there's been a lot of work, generation going through and a decade that you've really driven how to solve losses and what does it look like and what kind of recipes to put down hole, and then being able to do that through directional tools. Like you mentioned, a triple combo, rotary steerable, pumping LCM and getting it to go through tools, not mess up tools, and also being able to solve problems has been a mystery in the industry that we pride ourselves on being able to move forward on really quickly. It's pretty awesome.
It's interesting. I'll talk to engineers and they'll call and they'll say, hey, man, I've got losses on my well. And I'll say, great, this is what we need to do. And they're like, well, the stuff you're recommending is really expensive. And I'm like, well, it's not cheap product. Mm-hmm. But then I asked them, well, how much mud have you lost in the last 12 hours? Oh, we lost 800 barrels of oil-based mud.
Yeah.
Oh, well, are you buying that, or are you renting it, or are you building it on location? Because even if we're just building it on location for $80, $90 a barrel, I mean, you've already spent, $10,000 on mud in the last 12 hours.
Right. And
you don't want to pump a $500 sweep.
Yep.
Sometimes we get hung up on things and not looking at the big picture with dealing with losses. If you're drilling a lateral and you're losing 25, 50 barrels an hour, then you say it's a 10,000 foot lateral and we've got another 800 barrels in cutting retention on top of that. I mean, you're at 2,500, 3,000 barrels of losses. It's really easy to write it off after the fact and say, well, that wasn't on my mud bill. But it was on your mud bill. Where we could have stopped that. 1, your casing jobs are going to go better. 2, you can weight up if you need to. 3, you're getting better cement jobs for your production guys. You're getting higher lift. There's just so many things about it.
Yep. One of the things that we've talked about in the past, and a quote we've had from a a colleague in the past is when you're losing oil-based mud at a pretty good rate, I think we have the quote of, it adds up.
It adds up.
It adds up.
Well, you were only losing 70 barrels an hour. Well, 3 days later, it adds up.
It adds up.
It adds up quick. And we just finished a well in South Texas, another one that we had similar things, some fractures. We were drilling with brine because we knew we were in a higher loss area.
Right.
Bam. 200 barrel an hour losses. Like, it's going. We're pumping. We lower our flow rates. We have the sweeps ready. We send them around. We solve that. We get the losses down to about 10, 20 barrels an hour. We hit it with another sweep. We didn't drill 100 feet, and we took almost a full pound kick.
Right.
Now, so if we don't solve those losses before that happens, where we cross another fracture zone that's charged, we're going into a completed back with nothing but gas to surface, right? We're not doing that, though. We're able to drill and circulate and then start sending sweeps again and drill another 7,000 foot in the lateral.
Right.
A pound more than what we were when we were losing 200 barrels an hour.
Yep.
And these are the things that we're doing on not just our wells, but other customers' wells and colleagues' wells, and walking them through that. But it takes some commitment to knowing, I'm going to be prepared for this, and I'm going to have product on location. And when it happens, I'm going to follow a plan. Yep. And if what I'm following doesn't work, we're going to pick up the phone and call and say, what do I need to do different?
Right.
Because we can tweak it and make it work. And we are doing that over and over and over in multiple sections of wells.
Right. One of the things that we've talked about in the past on these hashtag tech talks is whenever something doesn't go perfectly as planned, how do you get back on plan and start moving forward and being efficient about that?
Yeah,
and that's what this is all about, is you encounter losses and you encounter some depletion, a fracture, whatever it may be, or even you get to a casing point where you're going to need some more pore pressure to go get your nose into some pressure, and you got to build some strength up above you.
Especially in our intermediates, and a lot of things we do where we're nosing into it. And then the thing about that is we sent out our days versus depth that morning, the next morning, and we lost 200 barrels an hour of mud, and we took almost an over pound kick from completely unexpected fracture system, and we still posted 2,000 foot that day.
Yeah, you don't even see it on the days versus depth curve, which is really great. I mean, it's just cheers to the guys out in the field and the plan to be put in place.
Definitely, without a doubt. So, and that's the whole thing, right? Like, we want to keep moving forward. We don't want to let these events slow us down and cost us more money than they should.
Right.
So, all right, on that note, we're going to sign off. I had some really good words of advice for everybody, but basically I'm just going to come back and say, quit losing, stop losing, and start calling, because you don't have to deal with it. Don't be a loser. Nobody likes you.
Keep it salty, DET fans.
Keep it salty.